I heard on the news today that it's World Autism Awareness this week. Kind of crept up on me because every day is sort of autism awareness for me, for us. So I thought that I would do a couple of short videos about our experience with autism and talk about things from the early days, because obviously we've been at it a long time now. First thing I had to do was brush my hair, because my mum's always like, "Oh, Bernadette, have you brushed your hair?" She sounds like that. And so yes, I have brushed my hair. And it's actually quite relevant because when Kieran was very small, and even now actually, he didn't sleep, but it was sort of worse when he was very small, because not only he didn't sleep, he used to have night terrors, and we could be awake sort of most of the night. He might have 2 hours rest, and when he was awake he needed much care and attention because his behaviour was very challenging, and he was very scared. He would sit in the corner of his bed and his eyes would be wide open, but he would actually be still in some sort of sleep stasis. So I didn't get much sleep at all myself, and quite often my hair wasn't brushed. So Mum's quite right. Brush your hair, Bernadette. You know, use your own shop window, go out looking presentable. And I've always thought to myself, actually, no matter how bad things are at home, I do have to go out and look kind of presentable. I don't want anybody ever to look at me and think, "Oh, God, look at the state of that." Although maybe they do anyway. Never mind, that's not why we're here. And it makes me laugh when I say I'm going to do some short videos, because I can't do short videos. I never stop talking. And I think, oh, I'll have a script. But that doesn't work because I always go off on a tangent. Well, there you go. Why tell a short story when you can make it long? At the early days, so Kieran was born 4 days after his due date, so that's not too bad. And he was a nice healthy £7.11, normal pregnancy, and oh, lovely Bonnie baby. Oh, he was beautiful, still beautiful. And he met all his early milestones of rolling over, crawling, sitting up. To me, there were no signs at all, and maybe if I'd had Daniel first, I might have picked up on something. But you know, the gift of hindsight, if we all had that. He got to about 18 months. So Daniel was born when Kieran was 15 months old, and I can remember my mum telling me when we were small, because we were all roughly the same age, that we would all help with the new baby. She could say to my sister, "Can you get a nappy for the baby?" or I don't know, that type of thing, and my sister would get that. But Kieran at 15 months, I couldn't say to him, "Could you get a nappy for the baby?" He wouldn't follow those sort of simple instructions. And he also I don't know, I wouldn't say he digressed, because I don't think he made it that far forward, but he wasn't babbling the way my friends' children were. And he wasn't making the dada sound and mama sound that you would expect. But in my defense, everybody says when you have a new baby, your older child can sort of take a few steps backwards because of the less attention and different things. So in my mind, that might have been happening. I don't know, I'm not an expert. But things that were not happening, and I realise this now, is he wasn't pointing. You know, when they'd see a plane in the sky or a car or a person known to them. So there was no pointing, and there was no waving bye-bye and ta-ta. So I didn't realise this at the time, because you just don't, but that's called gestural communication. So the fact that he would be doing gestures as well, which we all do, and I move my hands all the time. I try not to, but I do. We all do. So anyway, he wasn't doing those sort of things. So 18 months, he's not doing his dada sounds and mama sounds and things. And there's no waving and pointing. So we asked the health visitor about this, and she said, does he do head, shoulders, knees and toes and things like that? And does he know his body parts? And I was like, no, I don't know. So she said, you know, to do these songs with him. And we were doing these songs with him, but that became apparent as well that he didn't actually copy, because we used to go to toddler group and they do see the sleeping bunnies, and then they'd all jump up and go hop, hop, hop. But I'd have to physically lift him and make him jump, whereas the other children in his age range were getting up, and he would do, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. He wasn't doing the science for that, whereas the other children in his age range were. So she advised us to take him back when he was 2, and off we went when he was 2, and he still hadn't got any sort of verbal communication, and there was still no gestures or signs or copying. So we were referred to a speech and language therapist, and for me, it was still very much about speech and language, and it didn't occur to me at all that Kieran would be autistic, because there's so much going on about the MMR and autism, and the things that they were saying were like lining up cars and labels in their clothes that they couldn't tolerate, the seam on their socks that they couldn't tolerate, this need for routine, particular about different types of food, and none of those fitted in with Kieran. He was doing absolutely everything else in my mindset, and his eye contact with me was perfect, but it's such a personal thing. How would you even know? So off we go. He was 2 years and 4 months, and it was the day actually that Daniel was due for his MMR. I met this speech therapist, and she was asking like lots of questions, and I think to her it was very clear that Kieran was on the autistic spectrum, but nobody will tell you. Nobody will mention the A word. I mean, it's just like this big secret. Let's not tell the parents we think they have autism, because the parents could go off and find some information that would be useful and help their family. So we'll keep that a secret for now. So she sent this letter to us, and we got an appointment with the child development team, the paediatric consultant. So Kieran was 2 years and 7 months old, which is very young for a diagnosis. So it must have been glaringly obvious to anybody who had any idea about autism. Not me, I had no idea. And Mum and I went off and we met the paediatric consultant and a child psychologist, and they did a few tests with Kieran and asked a million questions and ticked lots of boxes. And at the end of this, I think it was about an hour session, she told us that Kieran was on the autistic spectrum. I would have been less surprised if she'd hit me in the face with a wet fish, although I would have wondered why she had a wet fish with her. For me, it was like a freight train driving at 1,000 miles an hour and smashing me in the stomach, and I can still feel where it impacted, and that was 16 years ago. Such a shock, such a shock. I don't know why the health visitor didn't tell me they thought he might be on the spectrum, or why the speech and language therapist. But anyway, there it was, D-Day, diagnosis day, 19th of May 2005. And when you're a parent and you have a baby, if you've got a baby, you'll know what I'm talking about. Oh, these hopes and dreams are in your head, everything they're going to do, everything they're going to develop into. They're just like rolling ahead of you. You can't control it because there's like this baby and it's everything to you. And then when you get another baby, 15 months later, whoa, these boys, they were going to be best friends. They were going to scouts together, swimming together. They were going to have the same relationship that I have with my siblings. You know, this little complete world that I had to embrace on the 19th of May 2005 was stolen from me. And that might sound dramatic, but then, you know, I'm a bit dramatic. It was stolen from me. Everything that I'd hoped for my 2 boys, everything that I thought would be our life, it was just wiped out. And it was a very cold delivery of the message. Considering it's a communication disorder, they could have done a better job. They gave us a photocopy sheet about some way we could like get more information about autism. And that was that. Off we went, actually not knowing what to do next and where to go next. Specialist health visitor came round the next week, and she said to me, Are you happy with the diagnosis? Happy. Oh, yes, I said, we threw a party. For goodness sake, happy with the diagnosis. And it was a shock for me, and I was still in shock. And she gave me a big list of no-nos, things I couldn't do with Kieran. You know, we couldn't go to crowded places, we couldn't go out to eat, we couldn't go on holiday, and there were all these things that we couldn't do. And then she points at Daniel, who was like 15 months old. And he has got a name, and she knew his name. But she pointed at him with a bony finger. Okay, maybe I exaggerate, but that's what I thought in my head. And she said, this one, does he have it too? And I thought, why would he have it? It's not contagious. I mean, is it genetic? Or is it the MMR? I mean, that's what everybody says. I don't know. Does he have it too? And I said to her, why would he have it? And she said, oh, no reason. And off she went on her merry way. And that was the last we saw of her. So there we were, our perfect little family, and we were crushed. And we've got Kieran with autism, and they didn't tell us how they thought it would pan out. And I had no idea at that time that he wouldn't talk, because I had seen children with autism on the GMTV sofa, and they'd got a sailor suit and a loaf of gluten-free bread, and they were quirky. And guess what? I can do quirky. Because I am quirky. I was fine for that. And Kieran's got autism. That one, we'll call him Daniel. Yeah, he might have it too. Really? And actually, there's nothing you can do. It's a big list of no-nos. You can't tell me no. I thought, right, let's get this. We can do all of these things. All of these things that she said we can't do, yes, we can. Because do not ever tell me I can't do something, because I can do it, and I can do it bigger and larger than you can even imagine. And we have done all of the things on that list that she said we couldn't do, because Daniel desperately needed a childhood. Daniel needed to do all the things that his peers would be doing. And guess what? So did Kieran. And autism was going to be a barrier, a challenge, an obstacle. But we were going to lead a full and happy life. And we have. We've done everything. Been to New York, been to Canada, been to Florida, been to Paris 100 times, Ireland 100 times. Everything you do, we do. It's not been easy. Military precision. Lots to think about and plan. And, no sleep. But that's it. That's our diagnosis. That's kind of how it was in the beginning. And I'm going to do some more of these little videos. And you can watch them if you want to. And if you've got any questions, you can ask me questions, because it's been such a long journey. And like with everything that we become more familiar with and that we develop expertise with, we actually forget what we know because we're concentrating on the new thing. And the new thing for me has been transition into adulthood, which has been a mare. But anyway, still fighting. 16 years of fighting. That's what you need to know when you get a diagnosis. Really, you've got a fight on your hands. So get ready to battle. But you can do this. And Kieran is so severely autistic. Seriously, he's hanging on the spectrum like this. Help me, don't throw me off the spectrum. Except he can't talk. He's so autistic. And he's so challenging. But if I can do this with Kieran, it doesn't matter where your child is on the spectrum. Guess what? You can do it too. And guess what that you've got that I didn't have at the time? You've got me. Although I did have me, but I didn't have me with all I know now. So, any questions? Please ask me questions. If you think I can help you, please ask me to help you. If I can't, probably know somebody who can. And my experience is unique to us, but I know so many families with children on the spectrum, and they're all so different and so special, and they've all got their own areas of expertise. And one thing about autism parents is we will help you. We will all help each other. And it is the singular best thing that autism has ever given me. I belong to this elite group. I never wanted membership. I wouldn't have applied for membership, and I certainly wouldn't have asked for it. But I'm in that club, and it's a fantastic club. And my friends are amazing. All the parents of children I know with autism, they're just incredible. They just go that extra mile. We do parenting 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, 366 days a year, except for on a leap year, then we do it 367 days. We really do. And I'm not exaggerating. I don't want any big ups. It's like, not, yay, me. It's what we have to do. And it's worth it. Anyway, I did say I couldn't stop talking. I will stop talking. And I will do some more of these videos because it just might help somebody. And we might as well help people while we're here, right? What you really need when you've got a child on the spectrum, actually for any child, all children, love, patience and hope. Always, always love, patience and hope. Most of all, love, just love, okay? And be kind to each other. It's really easy. God bless.